unconscious dimensions of the self, such as one's sense of who one is in relation to other people. Subjectivity is discursively produced. In other words, it is created through a process. It is the effect of conscious and unconscious forces embodied. It is also an expression or an effect of power. Postmodern analysis, such as those of Judith Butler, cast doubt on the significance of physicality or the body, particularly in discussions of gender and race. Her writings have spawned a debate on how to reconcile intellectually and theoretically the socially constructed body, that is, the meanings that are attached on the body, and essentialism, a set of innate physical differences. The conventional understanding of identity politics proposed a solidarity based on commonalities. For example, sexual identity amongst feminists in the 1970s and race amongst the proponents of civil rights. But its unintended effect was to exclude perspectives from other people. Identity politics minimize the different social and political contexts in which people lived. The debate on identity has become further complicated by globalization and migration, processes that have disrupted the relatively settled character of traditional cultures and collectivities structured around ideas of nationality, race, and gender. Identity is now constructed through participation in global economies and compel individuals to mobilize themselves in their search for economic opportunities, which may take them to different countries sequentially. Transnational migrants participate in different cultures, manifesting their ethnic group or culture in different locations. Consequently, their sense of self is fluid and emerges from such movements. Furthermore, contemporary transnational migrants are not simply acted upon, but may participate in conscious and deliberate ways to manage perceptions of what they are and who they are. If identity is not fixed or pure, but rather contingent, the simple binaries of South Asians or male and female are disrupted. Furthermore, this contingency raises the question, once again, of voice and authority. Who has the right to speak, and for whom? If the physical body is not significant in and of itself, then associating voice and authority with an insider by virtue of his or her skin color is a controversial issue. Scholars such as Bell Hooks and Patricia Collins have struggled theoretically to give primacy to the insider and the knower, while at the same time disputing the significance of the physical body. For Stuart Hall, significance lies not in fixed or conventional criteria like race or sex, but in self-reflexivity, recognizing the multiple positioning that are incorporated in an identity as well as its contingency. on social, political, and cultural contexts. It is at this point that I flounder, for I never had an opportunity to ask Helen some questions. For example, did she struggle to overcome colonial biases about South Asian women in her attempt to give voice to their experience? Did she encounter questions from South Asian women about her authority to speak on their behalf? Did she feel that her scholarship was valued by South Asian women for the contribution it had made to the literature? How did she reconcile the conflict between the socially constructed body and essentialism? I cannot answer these questions for Helen, but I can speak about South Asian academics such as myself living in the diaspora who confront the problems of identifying their perspective as that of insiders or outsiders when they research South Asia. Yet, it is partly the experience of encountering racism in its many guises in their personal and professional lives that created the desire to study their cultural origins, history, and society. Clifford argues that diasporas generate a double consciousness that enables individuals to transcend disappointments by emphasizing the strength of self and community. He writes, "Experience of loss, marginality, and exile, differently cushioned by class, are often reinforced by systematic exploitation and blocked advancement. This constitutive suffering coexists with the skills of survival, strength in adaptive distinction, discrepant cosmopolitanism, and stubborn vision of renewal. Diaspora consciousness lives hope and loss as a defining moment." In recent studies of the global, hybridity and hybrid identities have been used to define ethnicity and perspective. A hybrid perspective is neither indigenous nor exogenous. Homi Bhabha views hybridity favorably because it provides a space in which individuals can constantly negotiate with the culture in which they find themselves and thereby gain a better understanding of self and identity. But others like Inderpal Grepal and Karen Kaplan are more critical of hybridity because not all facets of such an identity are equal and symmetrical. Rather, they are uneven because they stem from histories that transcend individual intentionality. I now move to the second part of my talk and refer to memory, subjectivity, and the social construction of identity. A cultural memory that is communicated through stories is an act of the present by which individuals and groups constitute their identities by recalling a shared past on the basis of common and therefore often contested norms, conventions, and practices. The collective memories documented in stories bear testimony to the immigrants' past and demonstrate